everyone. Welcome to a new week at Self-Made. This week I'm just going to talk about my relationship with activism / other activists and just activism in general around transness. And I don't really have a lot to say. I think, I struggle sometimes with if I identify myself as an activist and if community organizing and activism go together. I think that they can, and I think that they do. I think personally, I find a lot of value in community organizing. I think there's more truth to it. I think it's more representative of the goals that we're trying to reach when we community organize. And I don't want to get into the technicalities of what is and what isn't activism and the differences between different types of activism and everything. I think it's important to be critical when we step into the roles of being activists and organizing, and I think we need to think about, who is benefiting from the visibility, if visibility is our goal, or what is the goal in general in community organizing and in activism. I think what happens a lot of the time is that one or two major people get a lot of I don't want to say fame, but a lot of visibility for telling their narratives or telling their stories, and specifically in the trans male community, there's a handful of really famous trans guys who have very valuable narratives and who are valuable people, but the narratives that we are boosting and that we're talking about are the narratives of white, conventionally attractive, thin, able-bodied trans men. I think that that's what a lot of people are willing to listen to and spread the stories, and while there's nothing wrong about that, I don't think it's benefiting the larger trans community as a whole. I think we need to center our activism around marginalized identities and including those in our stories and in our community organizing, and it honestly needs to be a priority in any goal that we have as activists and as community organizing. If we can't include marginalized identities, I don't think that we're doing the best that we can do. And I think if we want to consider ourselves activists, then we really got to be active about including narratives from trans people of color and trans women, and we have to include non-binary identities into our discussions, and if we're not able to include people that aren't having their narratives be told, I don't think we're doing the best that we can do. Obviously, I hold immense amounts of privilege in that I am white and masculine, and if I'm ever read / labeled as male anywhere, that comes with a lot of privilege, because then I'm being read as a white male. And when I have discussions with people about transness, if I'm not doing my best to include trans men of color or trans women of color or non-binary people of color into my conversations about trans identities, and I'm not doing the best that I can do. And I think that that's what I really strive to center my activism around, is including people who aren't included a lot of the time. Aiden Dowling and Buck Angel, and honestly most of the people that F10 magazine is featuring on their their covers. You know, I say have to have magazine because I would say that most trans masculine people read that magazine or have seen that magazine. Um, you know, a lot of the people that are featured on there are white, thin, conventionally attractive men. And, you know, there's a lot of value to that magazine. I don't want this video, I guess I just don't want this video to be dragging anyone down. I don't want to say that people aren't valuable because they hold privilege or because they are white and, I already said that, because they hold privilege, right? Okay, I don't want to rip them down and tell them that, you know, yeah, great, you have a story that everyone listens to, now move on. That's really not what I'm getting at here. What I'm getting at is that those venues in which people have a platform, I personally don't think that they could be doing their best jobs as activists unless they're including marginalized identities. And so that's basically all I feel about it. I said it was going to be short, ended up being over 4 minutes long. So yeah, that's basically it. If you have any questions, hit me down below, and I'll see you next week.